In the previous class we have seen how to create the instances of the class. We have seen an example of blank. Here blank is the object, so we have to assign the class name with the parenthesis to the object if you want to create the objects in Python. Now we'll see how to create the attributes. Attributes are nothing but the data or the variables of a particular object. Like real world objects, object instances have both form and functions. So form consists of data elements contained in the instance. We can add new data elements to an instance using dot notation. Means if there are elements, there are data, there are variables inside an object, we can extract them or we can use them using the dot operator here, as we use the dot operator in case of Java. Same here, we have to use the dot operator to use any attribute related to the object. Okay, as you can see one example here, blank is object of the point class. So x and y, if they are attributes, then we have to use like blank dot x equals to 3.0 and blank dot y equals to 4.0. Okay, so this is the state diagram, how we can show it pictorially, what is the object, what are the attributes. Okay, so this is the object diagram. So blank is the object containing two attributes, okay, which has the value 3 and then the one y has the value 4. Okay, so if you want to access them separately, you can access them using the dot operator. So blank dot y displays 4, blank dot x displays 4, and even this x is different and this blank dot x is different here. Okay, so if you want to display the values, you can use the percentage %g, which is nothing but the format specifier for the x and y values. Since they are decimal, you have to use the percentage %g here. Okay, so another one example, distance equal to math dot square root of blank dot x square plus blank dot y square, that we have taken. So distance will be displayed. Okay, you can pass an instance as an argument in the usual as usual. Okay, so one function we have defined here, define print point. We are passing p here, so assume this p is nothing but object of the point p. Okay, we are printing percentage d percentage p dot x comma p dot y. So this is how we can access. So print point is a function here which takes the argument as the object. Okay, so print point blank, if you pass, it will display 3.0, 4.0. Fine, let us have an example of how to create a class and how to define the methods within the particular class in Python. As you can see here, we are creating a class called as fridge. So let us execute this particular program, as well as we will see this particular program in idle. We have already created this. I will open the file. I have stored it using class 1 or class 2. I have point example also. I will also show you the point example. Before that, let us go with this fridge example. So this is the example for fridge. Okay, so we have taken here class fridge. As you know, you have to use the class keyword with the name of the class and a colon. Define init. So these are the two underscores here. Okay, these are two underscores. Init function is a built-in function in Python which is used to initialize the values, and this self is nothing but invoking object. Self stands for invoking object. So it is just like a constructor in case of Java. If you have used for a class, we use the constructor there to initialize the values. Here we use this init function to initialize the values for a variables or attributes of the class. So self is the default one. Then you have to pass eggs, milk and cheese. Self dot eggs equals to eggs, self dot milk equals to milk, self dot cheese equals to cheese. This is the way how to assign the values. Okay, initialization. Okay, then just three functions we are writing to check whether the sufficient quantity is available in the fridge, to check that particular thing. So check eggs, self you are passing here means values. It will be taken by the constructor. So constructor will take those values and assigns to eggs, milk and cheese. So initially we are checking for eggs. If eggs are more than or equals to 2, then you have to print sufficient, otherwise insufficient. Similarly for milk, if it is more than equal to 3, then sufficient, otherwise insufficient. Similarly for eggs, if more than 4 are there, then sufficient or insufficient. Then how to call these, you can see here two objects we are creating here, two cases we are creating. First case we are passing 2 3 4, okay, and then the second case we are passing 2 2 3. So both cases, how to call the functions, the object name f dot check eggs, f dot check cheese, f dot check milk. You can see here creating object in case of Python is you have to write the object name equals to the class name, and you have to pass the variables if the variables are there. If the attributes are there, you have to pass them. Okay, let us execute this program. Run, go to run module. Okay. Okay, so this is the output for the first case. The values are it is 2 3 4, so it is sufficient. 3 is insufficient because it is more than equals to 3. It must be sufficient, some problem might be there. Okay, then the third case, it is more than equals to 4, then it is also sufficient. The second case, 2 to 3 is there, so 2 is okay because it is more than equals to 2, then it is sufficient. But second, cheese and milk are not sufficient. Cheese and milk are not sufficient because 2 and 3 cheese less. Okay, so that is how it works. Let me show you another program, that is a point. We have created a this is example of a point. Okay, so in this case we are just importing a math module here. We call it as a module. As you import packages in case of Java, we import modules here, mathematical functions, built-in functions. If you are using then you have to import this math module. Creating a class point here, as I said you, if there is nothing to be written inside the class, just you have to write a doc string. So this is a class point representing a coordinate point. This is a doc string here. You are creating a class point which contains nothing. Okay, so then define read point p. You are passing the point object here. Okay, it is just reading the values. P dot x equals to float dot input of x coordinate, p dot y equals to float input y coordinate. Define print point. It is printing the values of x and y. You can see here percentage e, percentage g. In terms of decimal, it will display here. Then this particular function is finding the distance between 2 points. Distance between 2 points p1 and p2. Okay, to find the distance, it is using the formula x p1 dot x minus p2 dot x square, p1 dot y plus p1 dot y minus p2 dot y square. Okay, then it will return the distance here. So first we are creating first object here with p1 as the object name. P1 is to point. Print, enter first point. So when you call the read point function, it will read the values of x and y coordinates. Then we are creating the second object here. Okay, it will read the x and y coordinates for the p2. Then you are finding the distance between the 2 points here. Then we are displaying first point and second point and the distance. Let us try to execute this. Run module. Okay, x coordinate, let me enter 3 x coordinate and 5. Okay, second 2 and 4. Okay, this is for p1, this is for p2. This is p1, 3 comma 5 is p1, 2 comma 4 is p2. So when you press enter here, so it will display first point is 3 comma 5, second point is 2 comma 4, then it will display the distance. Distance is 1.41421. So how it will find the distance is this p1 dot x 3 minus 2 bracket square plus 5 minus 4 bracket square. That is the way we find the distance between the 2 points. Okay, this is the point class, how we have created a point class, how we have read the coordinates of the point, and how we have displayed the values of the point, and how we have found the distance between the 2 points. Okay, then coming back here, fridge example we have seen. So this is the output what it has to display. Okay, another example we have here, cart. Cart example, we have taken again the unit function, apple contents check, orange contents check. The same we have done here. Same, there is no difference. Difference between the previous one and this one. Just what we have what the changes we have made here is we have taken one more variable here. Okay, fruits equals to, we have created the object called as fruits here, equals to cart of 3 comma 11. Cart is a class name which contains 3 functions. In it is one apple contents check and orange contents check. Then cart fruits equals to cart is the object name. Cart is the class name and fruits is the object name. We are passing through two variables here, 2 attributes. Return apple message, fruits dot apple contents check. So it will return a message and that is stored in return apple message. Similarly, this also returns a fruits dot orange contents check, also returns a this one. So we can also write it like inside the print function itself. Print fruits dot apple contents check, like this. Okay, print of, directly you can call the function here. Let us try to execute this one also. Let me open that. It is class 3. Open it. Okay, so same one. Let me execute this. See the output here, insufficient quantity, sufficient quantity. What are the values we have taken? 3 comma 11. So what apple content we need to have? Self dot apple greater than or equals to 5. It must be more than 5. So it is displaying insufficient. But for orange, it is displaying sufficient quantity because it is 11. More than 10 is the condition here. Since it is 11, it is displaying the sufficient quantity. Okay, so rest of the examples we will see in the next